Please, Buck. You are talking to the master of nitpicks. Not to mention, I am German. We are pretty good when it comes to killing the mood. Hello out there, this is the AnY and welcome to my analytical top 5 yay and nay list for Flight to the Finish. Oh my Luna, this sound, can it be?
Neigh, this episode has no flaws, and I'll prove it.
Oh great, looks like you finally managed to hunt me down, Robin. But why a TARDIS? You know there's a rift in the YouTube continuum Voice of Reason and I caused, right?
Watch my last review, it'll make sense. You ready, AnY?
Do I see this correctly? You are in fanboying mode and I am stuck with talking crap on that episode? Well, kind of works with Buck's challenge, I guess.
Yep. This is the best episode of the series, and Sweetyville actually understands crap, and oh my god, this is a great...
Well then, let's get this over with. Number 1, meh. Wait, we have a meh?
Yes, we do. Despite my love for the CMC episodes, they can have a cameo by the main 6. This episode has none of that. I would have at least liked to seen them watching the announcement from the Crystal Empire. Not a problem, just meh.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't care about that either. Meh. Number 5.
Neigh!
The song.
What? The song was Gerda Bergersham. I haven't been so happy to sing a song since Bab's Seed.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. Better than each one in Equestria Games, except the intro theme of course. But it had its issues. The text was kind of repetitive. I mean, how many times did they sing hearts as strong as horses?
10 times, but still awesome.
Anyways, the visuals with the heart and the sun backdrop were a bit underwhelming, and what is up with this shadow? I get the symbolism, but it just looks weird. Like many CMC songs, this was a montage. Usually their montages are integrated into the narrative rather well. This time, not so much. They start out walking down a road, doing some unspectacular circling position choreography, then we get some Rocky-esque training shots with hit and miss punchlines, and in the end they are still on the very same road they started. Did they just daydream all the training? To be fair, Snowflake's fear of butterflies made me laugh out loud, and oh Luna, how amazing was the reprisal at the end.
Ha! You do admit this song has good elements.
Yeah, that's why it's only number 5. As I said, it is not bad and has a very catchy tune. So, what have you got?
I'm so glad you asked.
Number 5.
Yay!
Any fan of mine knows that I adore the animation of MLP, and this episode was no exception. I particularly like the song's visuals in the first performance. They just look so dynamic and just, awesome.
My absolute favorite visual were the CMC boosting out of Scootaloo's house. Yes, she lives in a house and not on the street, get over it. It just looks super dynamic and fluent. Not to mention that this form of traveling as a group is simply amazing. Even so, those visuals with the hills, no. One thing I would have loved to see in those sweet animations would have been number 4.
Neigh!
Performances by others than the CMC, especially Tiara and Silver Spoon. I mean, apparently they saw the CMC as the only noteworthy competition, so their act couldn't have been too shabby.
We did see a few practicing their acts, but I would have actually liked to see Sips and Snail's act. They built it up in the opening, so why not show it? But your nitpicks can't top!
Number 4.
Yay!
Come on, AnY. Admit it, you love the continuity.
Well, duh.
Harsh? But we do get Pony a bit more harsh than you. Harsh Winnie is back, and the Equestria Games are approaching. And we actually have confirmation that this is going to be a plotline, like the Grand Galloping Gala is in Season 1.
You make a good point. The fact that this episode was just another setup episode for the games itself makes it a fair assumption that the games are going to be a really big thing. You might be onto something with the comparison to the Great Galloping Gala. As I already stated in my first impressions video, my prediction is that the Equestrian Games will be the setting for the season's finale. But enough praising for the moment. I have one issue with the way the conflict in that episode was put into motion. Number 3.
Neigh!
The whole issue about Scootaloo's insecurity, about her inability to fly, and we are going to address that particular aspect of the plot as well, aren't we, Robin?
You bet we will!
The setup for this issue was nicely executed, but in itself a bit too convenient, with Rainbow deciding this very day to actually listen to a pony who tells her to act professional and calm. If she would have given the CMC her honest opinion about their performance, the bully duo wouldn't have had an opening to get to Scootaloo in the first place.
Wait, didn't you defend the concept that stories are built on convenient coincidences just recently in your Castlemania review?
Well, don't shut up. It is hard enough to find 5 actual criticisms about that episode to begin with. Also, this issue gave me an actual moment for the first time in ever. The CMC don't let the tormenting twosome get to them with their usual blank flank routine, and then Dashi creates this opening for them.
See, even you can barely try to make a negative comment, and this episode touches on...
Number 3.
Yay!
The fan rumor that Scootaloo is handicapped and will never be able to fly seems to get confirmed in this episode. I wouldn't mind her not flying, because it seems that no pony cares that she has this handicap. I say that they should not let her be able to fly, although that sounds a lot worse when I'm saying it out loud.
I cannot express how much I love the fact that they did this. My main criticism about the whole Derby debacle 2 years ago was a missed opportunity to show a handicapped character who gets treated completely normal. No special treatment, neither in a mean or a quote-unquote good way. Flight to the Finish gave a great example of exactly that idea in the way Applebloom, Sweetie Belle and Rainbow treated Scootaloo. Well, that said, my next point kind of pains me to bring up. Number 2.
Neigh!
The implementation of that idea had some shortcomings that limited the strength of the message. It only gets addressed halfway into the story. As much fun as the opening and the song were, the overall story would have profited if those scenes would have been cut shorter to provide more room for the main topic. As a result, the development of the conflict itself had to be sped up. For some people, the fallout of the CMC came too sudden, felt even out of character. Luna knows I wish people would stop using that as a default argument when something does not fit their expectations. And they complained that there has been too little time for the situation to sink in so we could really build up emotions.
Alright, this is the one part of the episode I despise. The episode takes a back seat in the end of the second act to try to make character development. I can extend my disbelief with Applebloom as she's stuck up like her sister, but Sweetie Belle, what are you doing to me? I thought you loved me. How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes cause I accidentally killed Button Mash.
Yeah. So much for no flaws, huh?
Shut up and let me have my moment. However, we do have...
Number 2.
Yay!
Oh my god. The CMC felt so united. They were written perfectly. All of them seem real, as if they were real groups of friends united on a cause. Kind of like a certain group of animalists. How interesting.
Well, kind of a stretch, that comparison, but you have a point about the CMC's dynamic as a group, especially due to the fact that they did not only show their usual ability to work as a team, the division created within the group as a result of Scootaloo's confidence issues strengthened every one of them as an individual character. Yes, even Sweetie Belle. Her struggle with the whole conflict is written all over her face, and the regret with which she goes along with it tells a lot about her. Applebloom shows that stubbornness and belligerency seem to run in the family, and Scootaloo will get to her. But while we are on the topic of interactions within groups of characters. Number 1.
Neigh!
What the bug is going on with Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon?
Seriously, that is your number 1, Neigh?
Kind of speaks for the quality of the episode, doesn't it?
Hex yeah.
You see? Anyways. So far, the belittling brats have been one-note bullying characters who worked as the CMC's go-to antagonist, and we usually experience them from the CMC's point of view. As a consequence, we only got to know them from one angle, but on the upside it has been left open for us to imagine that there was more to them. Actual deaths and backstories about what made them who they are. Maybe even an interesting dynamic between those two when they are alone.
Didn't we exactly get that kind of scene from their point of view in Flight to the Finish? I thought you liked Silver Spoon's line.
But how do we stop them? We already called them blank flames. Thanks!
Oh yeah, this patheticness of bullies and trolls in a nutshell line was amazing. Besides that, however, it was rather disappointing to witness those two acting unobserved. The reason? They acted completely the same as when they are around the CMC. This view behind the curtain actually just limited their characters instead of expanding them. In addition, they show a complete lack of individuality. Until now, we got the impression that Diamond Tiara was kind of the driving force and Silver Spoon the follower. While watching the dialogue in this scene, I have the feeling I could completely switch around who says what and it wouldn't make a difference.
My bad headcanon is that Silver Spoon was a real mastermind behind the work. Or maybe a character like Marcy from the Charlie Brown cartoons. Someone who keeps tabs on everyone and everything.
Finally, what is up with those two's obsession with the CMC? In One Bad Apple they already had nothing better to do than come out to Sweet Apple Anchors just to mess a bit with the trio. Now they secretly observe the CMC even so they could just stand next to the stage like those ponies. Why this creepy stalkerish behavior? One question. How do very young and immature children, more often boys, show their affection for another one when they have yet to understand their own feelings and how to deal with them properly? They tease the person of their affection and play tricks on them in the attempt to earn attention and get noticed. I don't really want to imply anything, I'm just saying.
Well, here's another headcanon. I feel that Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon feel threatened by the CMC. Now that they don't care about the blank flank remark, they're afraid of the CMC. MLP is a show about friendship, and the CMC have the strongest bond between each other. Now, they are silently observing them, trying to knock them down a peg to make them feel better. But, where there's one character break for the plot, there is...
Number one.
This. This is the reason this episode is my favorite. If this was about young Fluttershy with the same plot, it would be okay. Maybe even a great episode. But Scootaloo makes this episode. The number one yay is how they write her. It's just great. They break her in the best way possible. Forget Ponyville Confidential. This is Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon's worst plot. They are diabolical, and I love it. When Scootaloo throws away those posters, wow, my heart sank, and this episode went from being a great episode to the best.
Oh yeah, the feels. And don't forget that this was another CMC episode in which the trio is not obsessing about the cutie marks all the time. On the contrary, and this is not only providing more diversity in CMC episodes for us viewers, but it also shows a certain level of progress into the right direction for those three to actually earn their marks. When they fall back into the usual routine at the end of the episode, Rainbow totally saves the day with her expression reflecting the feelings of probably 95% of all viewers.
Hell yeah! The lack of focus on cutie marks means that the writers finally are understanding what makes a CMC. They feel that they're more than just dumb kids looking for their butt stickers. They get to be actual characters for once.
Well, as you might have been able to tell, I consider this another really good episode. Easily the deepest in Season 4 so far, which makes it also the best for many people like Digi and Tommy. I personally have a hard time ranking all episodes since they go for so different goals to begin with. But I can say without a doubt that Flight to the Finish is the best CMC episode so far. And it was yet another fantastic debut for a new writer, at Valentine. He can stay.
Well, I do notice a few problems and nitpicks, but this is still the best episode of the series for me. Oh, I gotta go before Power Ponies airs.
This is the AnY Pony.
And this is Robin0928. See you guys later.
On this journey